The War Council chamber was enormous. High above, glowing panels displayed star maps, battle reports, and images of predator lords, creatures feared across galaxies for their skill and brutality. The council members sat in tense silence, their alien forms strange and varied, some with scales, some with feathers, some with limbs no human could count. Each one carried the weight of countless losses, each blaming the other for failures against the predator menace. Arguments had already begun. One species accused another of failing to secure supply lines. Another complained about intelligence failures. Voices rose and fell like storms, but no solution emerged. Years of fighting had exhausted everyone, and then, without warning, the massive doors at the far end of the chamber slammed open. A single figure stepped through. A human cadet, small by alien standards, clad in simple combat armor that bore the marks of countless battles, and carrying nothing but a determined look. For a moment the council froze, unsure if this was part of a formal presentation or some reckless act. Then the cadet strode forward, confident, purposeful, and silent. No one dared interrupt. All eyes followed as the human approached the central table and gently placed something down. A hush fell over the room. It was a head, a predator lord's head. Its mandibles snapped slightly as it rested on the polished surface. The chamber went completely silent. No one breathed. No one dared move. The human cadet finally spoke, voice calm but carrying authority. "I am here to ask one question. Who's next?" A ripple of shock ran through the council. One alien leaned forward, its eyes widening. "This human. You killed a predator lord? Alone?" The cadet nodded. "Yes, alone, and I will continue. Every predator lord who threatens life in this galaxy will fall." Some council members whispered among themselves. Others stared in disbelief. But the message was clear. Humans were not weak. Humans were not easily intimidated. Humans could face the most dangerous foes and survive. A tall winged alien with golden feathers finally spoke, voice trembling slightly. "You, a cadet, dare enter our council with a trophy of death? You are either brave beyond reason or mad." The human cadet's eyes met the alien's. "Call it whatever you like. I call it necessary." The council members exchanged glances. None had expected this. None had imagined a human could strike so boldly, so directly. In their long history, humans had been underestimated. They had survived countless battles, often on the edge of extinction. And yet, here was one standing in front of them, demonstrating courage and skill that no other species had displayed in decades. The cadet spoke again, recounting the journey. The story was simple, but every word carried weight. Training in harsh conditions, surviving deadly missions, learning to anticipate danger before it arrived. The cadet had faced situations that would have broken other species, situations where choices had to be made in seconds, with lives hanging in the balance. "We humans fight differently," the cadet said. "We adapt, we learn. We take risks no one else will. The predator lords believe they are hunters, but they've never met a human who refuses to die." Some aliens shifted uncomfortably. A few were impressed. Others were skeptical, unwilling to believe that one human could have achieved what the cadet claimed. Yet there was no denying the evidence on the table. The predator lord's head was proof enough. A smaller green-scaled council member spoke, voice sharp and questioning. "And you expect us to follow you? You are just a cadet. Our coalition has generals, commanders, war leaders. Why should we trust a human?" The cadet's reply was calm and unwavering. "Because humans don't just fight for medals or ranks. We fight for survival. And when the galaxy is at risk, survival is what matters. I have faced the predator lords, and I have won. You want victory? Listen to me. Learn from me. Fight alongside me, or step aside." For a long moment, silence hung over the chamber. The council members had never seen such confidence in one so young. Most of their species would have crumbled under the pressure. Most would have hesitated, seeking endless council debates. But this human cadet had taken action, and that action had worked. Finally, the oldest member of the council, a creature with eyes like liquid silver, leaned forward. "You speak boldly, human. Boldness can win battles, or it can get one killed. Why do you think you survived when so many others did not?" The cadet's gaze did not waver. "Because I adapt. I do not rely on luck. I rely on skill, observation, and courage. And I am not alone. Humanity is not a single being. Humanity is a force. You will see it soon." Whispers spread through the council. The alien leaders had seen humans in previous conflicts. They knew humans were resilient, but seeing one demonstrate such mastery over the Predator Lords changed something. Fear, respect, and curiosity mixed in equal measure. The cadet moved to the side, arms crossed, waiting. The council members could feel the tension, the kind that comes before a battle or a revolution. No one dared speak for several minutes. And then, finally, the silver-eyed elder spoke again. "Very well, human. You will have your chance. But understand this. The Predator Lords are cunning, relentless, and merciless. Many have died attempting what you claim to have done. Are you prepared to face more? Are you prepared to lead?" The human cadet smiled slightly. "I am ready. And if any Predator Lord thinks they can survive, I will remind them. Humans do not surrender. We do not yield. We adapt and we fight until the end. Now, and who's next?" The chamber was quiet again, but this time there was no disbelief. There was anticipation. A human cadet had entered unafraid, unstoppable, and now the council faced a choice. Embrace this unexpected force, or ignore it at their peril. As the cadet stood there, the galaxy seemed to hold its breath. Something had shifted. The council, once fractured by fear and blame, now had a spark of hope. Perhaps humanity, bold, unpredictable, fearless humanity, was exactly what they needed. The human cadet had won the council's grudging approval. Now came the real test, leading a strike team against a predator stronghold. The council had provided a mixed group of alien soldiers. Some were elite warriors, others technical specialists, but all were wary of following a human. The cadet walked among them, studying each member. There was Tarek, a four-armed warrior with thick armor plating, Vylara, a telepathic scout with shimmering blue skin, and Kor, a robotic strategist capable of running millions of calculations per second. Despite their advanced abilities, the cadet spoke simply and directly, earning their attention. "We move at night," the cadet said. "Stealth first, then speed. Predators expect brute force. We will give them the opposite: confusion, unpredictability, and precision. Follow my lead and none of you will die." Some aliens looked skeptical. How could a human, small, inexperienced, and seemingly fragile, lead them against creatures known for hunting intelligent species? But the cadet's calm confidence left no room for argument. As night fell, the team approached the predator stronghold, a massive cluster of spiked towers surrounded by jagged rocks. The air was thick with tension. Predators patrolled the perimeter, their glowing eyes scanning the darkness. Most species would have attacked head-on, but not the human cadet. The cadet signaled for silence. They studied the patrols, noticing patterns in their movement. Each predator had a routine predictable in small ways. Using simple tools and their human intuition, the cadet set small traps and distractions, diverting attention from the team's approach. "Remember," the cadet whispered, "patience is our weapon. Speed is our shield. Do exactly what I do." Hours passed as the team crept closer. The predators were ruthless hunters, but even they could not anticipate the humans' ingenuity. A decoy flare here, a sound distraction there, and the team slipped past the perimeter undetected. Every step required courage and precision. One wrong move could trigger alarms and the team would be slaughtered. Finally, they reached the heart of the stronghold. The main chamber was massive, filled with predator warriors sharpening weapons and preparing for their next hunt. The cadet paused, observing the enemy's arrangement. "This is where it ends," the cadet said softly. "Stay calm. Strike fast. We fight smart, not foolishly." At the cadet's signal, chaos erupted. The team moved with precision. Vylara used telepathy to confuse the predators. Tarek struck with brute force exactly where needed, and Kor used advanced calculations to disable traps. But it was the human cadet who changed the tide. Using a combination of hand-to-hand combat traps and clever tactics, the cadet eliminated the first predator lord, decapitating it before anyone could react. The remaining predators roared in fury, but the cadet's strategy kept them off balance. Every time they tried to regroup, the cadet anticipated their move, forcing them into mistakes. Aliens on the strike team watched in awe, realizing that human creativity and adaptability were as deadly as any physical strength. During the battle, the cadet noticed a second predator lord trying to flank the team. Instead of charging blindly, the cadet lured it into a narrow corridor filled with traps. With precise timing, the corridor's mechanisms triggered, pinning the predator and leaving it vulnerable. The cadet moved in and struck decisively. Another predator lord fell. When the battle ended, the chamber was silent except for the breathing of the survivors. The strike team looked around in disbelief. Not a single member of the team had fallen, and in the center of the chamber lay the two predator lords, defeated by a human cadet's planning and courage. Tarek, usually stoic, approached the cadet. "I doubted you," he admitted. "I thought humans were weak, but you are something else." The cadet nodded, expression calm. "We adapt. We survive. That is why humanity has endured against every threat." News of the victory spread quickly. Alien colonies across the galaxy received reports of the human cadet who had single-handedly eliminated predator lords in a heavily fortified stronghold. Some species celebrated, seeing hope for survival. Others were shaken, realizing that humans were not to be underestimated. Meanwhile, the predator lords were furious. They had underestimated humans before, thinking them primitive and fragile. But this cadet proved that humans were unpredictable, clever, and relentless. They began to reconsider their strategies, now seeing humans not as prey but as formidable opponents capable of turning the tide of war. Back at the War Council, the cadet returned with the strike team. The council members, who had doubted the humans' abilities, now looked on with a mixture of awe and respect. The silver-eyed elder spoke first. "You have done what none of us could. You have shown courage, skill, and leadership beyond your years. Humanity may be the galaxy's strongest hope." The cadet simply nodded. "Hope is not enough. Action is what matters. We will continue until every predator lord who threatens life is defeated, and we will not stop until the galaxy is safe." Some council members were inspired. Others were still wary, but no one could deny the evidence. A human cadet had changed the perception of an entire species. The victories were proof that humans were not only survivors, they were leaders, fighters, and innovators in war. As the council discussed plans for the next strike, the cadet stayed silent, observing the aliens and their reactions. Every species had strengths, every species had weaknesses. But one thing was clear: human courage and ingenuity could match or surpass any. The cadet thought about the next battle. Predator lords were relentless, intelligent, and deadly, but humans thrived under pressure, using their wits and adaptability to overcome impossible odds. And the cadet knew that the greatest victories often came from surprising enemies who thought they were superior. The cadet's mind was already planning the next strike. How to anticipate the predator's moves, how to protect the team, and how to turn danger into advantage. Humans had faced worse odds before. They had survived worse. And now, with alien allies watching and learning, humanity's presence in the galaxy was becoming impossible to ignore. Part 2 ends with the human cadet looking at the stars, thinking about the battles yet to come. The predator lords would not give up. They would fight harder, plan more carefully, and attempt to reclaim their dominance. But the cadet was ready. Humans never surrendered. Humans never stopped adapting. And humans never lost courage, no matter how deadly the enemy. The galaxy had seen the first true example of human ingenuity in battle. And now, every species had to ask itself the same question. Could they keep up with the human cadet? Or would the cadet and humanity redefine the future of war itself? The galaxy was on edge. News of the human cadet's victories had spread to every planet, every warship, every colony. Predator lords were no longer merely feared, they were hunted. And the cadet, once underestimated, had become a symbol of human courage, ingenuity, and resilience. The War Council had called an emergency meeting. Alien leaders crowded into the chamber, discussing strategies for the final assault on the remaining predator strongholds. The cadet stood at the center, calm and focused, with the strike team behind. Tension filled the air. Every species knew the upcoming battle would be decisive. "Predator lords have regrouped," the cadet said. "They know we are coming. They have reinforced their fortresses and are preparing ambushes. But we have something they do not expect: humans." The council members exchanged glances. Some nodded in agreement. Others still doubted. But they had seen the cadets' victories firsthand. The evidence was undeniable. Humans were different. Humans were dangerous in ways no one else could imagine. The plan was simple in theory, but dangerous in execution. The cadet would lead a series of coordinated strikes using diversionary attacks, traps, and unexpected maneuvers to divide the predator forces. Each strike would weaken the enemy, forcing them to fight on multiple fronts. Alien allies would follow the cadets' guidance, learning to adapt and respond with human-like unpredictability. As night fell over the first battlefield, the strike team moved into position. The predators were waiting, confident that their strength and experience would secure another victory. But humans were not predictable. The cadet observed the enemy's patrols, noted their routines, and calculated the timing of attacks down to the second. The battle began with controlled chaos. Alien forces engaged the predators directly, drawing attention, while the cadet and a smaller unit maneuvered behind enemy lines. Using traps, decoys, and clever misdirection, the cadet created confusion among the predators. Every move was precise, every step calculated. The cadet struck with skill and efficiency. Predator after predator fell, caught off guard by tactics they had never faced. Some tried to adapt, but the human cadet anticipated each action, turning the enemy's own strategy against them. Every victory reinforced the point. Humans were unpredictable, relentless, and brilliant in combat. Meanwhile, the alien strike teams followed the cadets' lead, learning to adapt and coordinate in ways they had never experienced. A species that relied on brute strength discovered the power of patience and strategy. A species that depended on telepathy learned to combine intuition with observation. The human cadet's presence was changing the way the galaxy fought. Finally, the cadet faced the last predator lord, the strongest and most cunning of all. The creature had survived countless battles and had grown arrogant, believing no human could match its skill. But the cadet was ready. They engaged in a battle that tested everything: speed, intelligence, reflexes, and endurance. The predator lord struck with deadly precision, but the cadet moved unpredictably, using terrain, traps, and strategy to stay one step ahead. The fight raged across the battlefield, drawing the attention of all nearby forces. In a moment of brilliance, the cadet lured the predator lord into a narrow canyon lined with preset traps. The creature charged blindly, and the traps activated, ensnaring it. The cadet moved in swiftly, finishing the fight with one clean strike. The last predator lord fell. Silence followed. Then cheers erupted, from humans, from aliens, from every observer who had witnessed the battle. The galaxy had seen something extraordinary. A human cadet had defeated the predator lords, not through sheer force alone, but through courage, intelligence, and leadership. The War Council convened once more. The cadet stood before them, victorious yet humble. Alien leaders bowed or saluted in respect. The silver-eyed elder spoke, voice filled with awe. "You have done what no one thought possible. You have changed the course of this war, and perhaps the future of the galaxy. Humans may be the greatest warriors of all." The cadet shook their heads slightly. "I am not alone. Humanity is strong because we adapt, we survive, and we fight with purpose. But we also learn from others. Together we are stronger than any predator lord or any enemy could imagine." Tarek, Vylara, and Kor, the cadet strike team, stood proudly behind. "We fought alongside you," Tarek said. "You didn't just lead us. You taught us. We will never forget what humans can do." The cadet smiled faintly. "Then remember this: courage is contagious. Intelligence is powerful, and no one should ever underestimate the will to survive and protect what is right." Across the galaxy, news spread of the cadets' victories. Humanity was no longer a minor player. They were respected, feared, and admired. Every species now understood that humans were a force to be reckoned with, clever, brave, and willing to face impossible odds. The final part of the story ended not with destruction, but with hope. The predator lords were defeated, but the galaxy had gained more than peace. It had gained a symbol, a human cadet who proved that even the smallest, most underestimated beings could achieve greatness through courage, intelligence, and unyielding resolve. As the cadet walked through the council chamber one last time, they looked at the assembled leaders. "The galaxy is safe. For now," they said, "but we must always be ready. Whoever threatens life, whatever enemy appears, humans will be there. We will fight. We will survive. And we will never stop asking who's next." The council members nodded, inspired and humbled. The human cadet had not just won battles. They had changed the way every species thought about humans. Courage, ingenuity, and determination had proven stronger than fear, strength, or experience alone. and as the stars shone brightly above, the human cadet looked toward the horizon, knowing the galaxy was vast, threats would come again. But humanity, unpredictable, fearless, and relentless, would always rise to meet them.